Well, my friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be creating another playlist series on a home improvement project that I've been wanting to do. I want to do this on camera. And what I'm going to be doing, my friends, is I'm going to be finishing out a hole in my ceiling that used to be a swamp cover or a swamp cooler access into my house. And as you can tell, that's the cover right there. That's the access panel that they used to have. They used to blow down into the house. You can see some wires that are right there. What I like to do, my friends, is I'd like to turn my camera around and get started with this video series as I show you what I'm up against and what needs to be done. Let's get started right now. Well, my friends, the first thing that I need to do is I need to clear this space of all my collective bottles that I have. I need to remove all the stuff off the wall. I need to take that picture down and move my microwave cart, because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making kind of a mess. So if you can look up into this cavity up here, you're going to see what I'm up against here. So that used to be the junction box there for the control for the swamp cooler, which ran up on the roof, and then it also ran down this wall, and behind this microwave cart there's a switch. So what I want to do is I want to close this off so I can blend the ceiling in like it was never there. What I like to do, my friends, is I like to show you some pictures of why this swamp cooler was removed and what they did up on my roof, and the reason that this looks the way it does. So let's check out some pictures, my friends. We'll be right back. Well, my friends, what I like to do is I like to show you some pictures of what this looked like. And up on my roof, they put a Skylight cover or lid over that swamp cooler cover. And you can see that in this picture right here. So this picture shows a gap of where they did not put that flashing over the plywood, and then put flashing over the top of that, and then run the shingles over that. So this leaked really bad. This picture shows the damage of what that looked like up on the top. And so I had to take that cover out of there, and you can see that junction box cover that I showed you where the wires are sticking out now. And this picture here basically shows the damage and the rot, and it's pretty ugly, and that's the damage that was caused up on my roof. That's one of the reasons why I reshingled my roof. And here's another picture of it. It's showing my tools are up there, and so I had to remove the rotted area and then cut some more of that area out of there in order to piece that back in. So my friends, that's why I'm doing this job, and I want this hole to go away. This hole that you're seeing up here is pretty irritating when I have a beautiful home on the inside. One of these days, my friends, I'll give you a tour of what my home looked like when I purchased it before I remodeled it. And we'll do that in another upcoming video. We might even do that at the end of this video. I don't know yet. But my friends, we're going to start a series on how to finish that out and how to make that disappear so it looks like it was never there. Hang on, friends. This is going to be an amazing adventure. Hello, my friends. In step number 1 here, we're going to be preparing the walls to prep for the drywall that's going to go up in there. We also have to remove items from the walls and the shelf surrounding this project. We need to protect the area. That's what we're going to be doing in this video. Well, my friends, as you can tell in this part of this video, step number, I guess, 1 is to remove the things off of my walls that may get damaged or may get drywall dust or mud all over them. And now those are my decorative bottles up on the wall there. Let me show you one of the bottles. See, I collect sarsaparilla bottles. That's a sarsaparilla bottle. This basically is a brand of root beer, and I used to drink this my younger days, but I can't find this anymore. But I love the bottles, and I love the cowboy design on there. So I've had these bottles for a very, very, very long time. So basically what I'm going to do, my friends, is I'm going to just lay these gently down in my basket here. And I don't usually use this because my washer and dryer is pretty close to my bedroom, so I just take my clothes out of the dryer and put them on my bed. So I'm going to be using this basket to put everything in until I'm done with this project. So let's go ahead and take some of this stuff down. Love the dark bottles. You can gently put these in there so they don't break. I don't plan to use this basket while I'm doing this project, so you can lay it here gently. Didn't break, thank God. Anyway, when I built that half wall over there, I thought some nice candles would be nice to put over there, so I got some candles. We'll put them down in there. 2 of them. I never burn them because I don't want a fire to start out up there. This is an old decorative wine bottle. This is actually blackberry wine. I got this as a gift from somebody one time, and I like the style of it, and I thought that's a beautiful collecting item, so I collected that. I should probably wrap this stuff, but I'm just going to store it really close by. And I've got a little Valentine's Day thing that says kiss on it. You can see that. This reminds me to keep it simple, stupid. And then I got this thing for a gift one time. I don't remember where I got it, but it's got some animal characters on there. And this kind of reminds me of maybe the animals that came into Noah's Ark. So I have that up there. So I'm going to remove basically everything here. I'll put that big vine in there last. So this is a wood carving of a toothpick holder that I made here several years back, and I actually enjoy making wood things. This is actually made out of a piece of a 2x2, and I drilled a hole down in it and carved it and painted it and made it look like a cowboy boot. I think I'll put that in a different location just because I'll use those toothpicks. Another wooden project that I enjoy is making horse heads inside of horseshoes, and then I put little dowels in it so it actually stands up on a shelf. I think that's pretty cool. Paraphernalia, I got the footprints poem right there. We'll put that down in there. And I have a ceramic plaque of Jesus holding the cross. And this is a Carmen staff usher. I actually worked with Carmen. I actually worked crowd control, and he actually signed the back of it. I actually got to shake his hand and see him in concert. I thought that was pretty cool. And I got my home rule plaque here. This is something that I refer to a lot. But I think it's pretty cool to have the home rules. It says always be honest, count your blessings, bear each other's burdens, forgive and forget, be kind and tender-hearted, comfort one another, keep your promises, be supportive of one another, be true to each other, look after each other, treat each other like you treat your friends, but most importantly, love one another deeply from your heart. these have scriptures that come with them to help us to work those out to our betterment. And last but not least, I'm going to take this protective shelf thing off the wall. This is just like a rock thing here, and it looks pretty cool right there. So we're going to gently put that right there. And then of course I have a picture hanging on the wall back there. I'll just put that up on top of this probably. As you can tell, I think that'll work. And then my mom, when she helped me remodel the house, she told me that some fake ivy would look good up there. So I'm actually going to take that down. If I left that up there, it'd be full of sheetrock dust and texture and all that stuff. So I'm going to take it down and protect that area. There's the end. And a little stick pin up on the wall to kind of help it stay in place. So. All right, my friends, I think that's about as much as I'm going to take off of there. I'm actually going to move the table over and then slide that microwave in front of that window. Let's do that right now. Before I do that, I'm going to set this back up where I got it from, up on top of the cabinet back here. We'll pull these chairs out. Just pull that table out a little ways. Still want to be able to use the microwave, so I have to do things a little bit differently to be able to do that. So I'm going to gently, very gently move this over. Basically want to get it on the other side. Keep in mind of the extension cord. I think that'll work to keep it all out of the way. That's actually microwave is designed to sit on a countertop somewhere. So I think that'll work for now. I'll move some things around and I'll be able to get into that microwave still. That makes things a little tough when you're trying to do some remodel work. I get that. Got cat toys all over the place, so got to get them out of the way. So my friends, I basically got that prepared and ready to go. I'll move the stuff off of the floor there, and then I'll be able to use that little stepping stool to help me get up on there. But I'm going to show you what I'm going to do next. I need to prepare that area, and before I take them trim boards down. So I'm going to come back in a little bit and we're going to prepare that area to pull that trim boards out of there. That's still a part of step one, because we have to prepare the area in order to patch it. So I'm gonna do a few things, and then I'm gonna bring the camera closer so you can see what I'm gonna be doing up there to prepare for what I gotta do. I'll be right back. Friends, as you can tell, I'm at a different angle now. I'm actually right down here. I'm on my ladder, and I'm actually focusing up on that box area. And as you know, there's a junction box up there. That's what I wanted you to see before I do anything else. And before I get started here, my friends, I always want to use safety first. And so this was the junction box that hooked from the switch that was down on the wall and worked at Swamp Cooler. So what I want to do, my friends, is I want to access this, and I got to figure out how much wire I have to work with. And it looks like I got about 6 inches that I can pull out from there. Okay, what I want to do is I don't want to use the same junction. What I want to do is I want to build another junction box, but I want to turn it into an outlet, a receptacle. Because what I do going around the woodwork of my living room, I like to put Christmas lights and sometimes Valentine's Day lights. And so I need to relocate this and make it a plug-in. So I'm going to take this all apart and see what I need to do do that. So I'm going to just leave that kind of hanging there. It's got wire ties and everything on it. But what I want to do, my friends, is I want to just basically pull this stuff down. This is all part of the prep work here. I got everything cleared off of the walls, off the floor, so nothing's going to get broken. So you want to do this, my friends, so you can figure out what you need to do to get this patched so you can put nailing surfaces in. So I'm just taking that trim off of there that they put on there in the past. You might want to know what kind of tool I'm using. I'm actually using a 5-in-1 tool, and I'm just basically tearing them pieces off of there that will not allow me to pull those trim boards out of there. Pull that out of the way just a little bit. We're going to pull the rest of that trim board out of there. And there's another trim at the top here. I got a lot of that stuff coming down on my face. Sheetrock pieces, things like that. Okay, my friends, now I want to take these trim boards out here because I want to measure the size of the wood to find out what I need for nailing surface. I want to find out what's there. So I look at how they put this in there. So they put these side pieces in first, and they put this piece and this piece in there. So let's pull this piece off first. And I can see some 2x framing material there. So I'm going to pull this one out just a little bit. It's probably not going to come all the way out. There's also some framing material there. So I'm just going to let that drop and take this back piece out. This has got mold on there, so be careful not to touch too much of the mold if you're doing this at home. You could have gloves on if you wanted to. Okay, I got framework on 3 sides so far. The wires are coming across the top of a piece of wood there. I'll show you that in a little bit. Looks like they used sheetrock for that. So if that's the situation, I can just break this. Yep. And then we're exposed. So this tells me, being there's a wood frame all the way around this, I can take my drummer tool and I can cut back a little lip all the way around here, and then I can use this drywall that's in here to patch in. This looks like it's 5/8 or 1/2 inch. So that's a good thing to see. So now I want to see if I have room to change these out and where I can put a plug in at. So it looks like I'm only going to have enough room maybe to put a plug in right here. Okay. So what I want to do, my friends, in this one, because we're preparing this area, I want to remove some of the popcorn texture that's around there. So I want to use a little spray bottle just to wet that down, and then I'm just going to let that soak. And I want a pretty good size area, because I got to blend drywall mud in here, and so then we're just going to make that drip. Now it's just pretty much soaking wet. So what I'm going to do, my friends, is I'm going to stop this part of this video here, and then I'm going to scrape that off, prepare that, and then I'm going to get some materials. And I'm actually going to put insulation up here. I got some old insulation. We're going to put that up in there. So, my friends, when we come back in step number 2, we're actually going to be framing this out, putting another junction box in there, and I'll show you how to do all that in step 2. My friends, I'm not a part in this video that I want to show you on preparing the outside edge, and as you can tell, I have this side scraped, and this side scraped. So basically what I do, my friends, I take the bottle and I spray that on there, and I let it soak, and then I come along and scrape it. I've saturated this several times, my friends, and so it's basically ready to scrape. And as you can tell, it's kind of making a mess. I'll back my ladder up just a little bit here. Okay, one of the things that I wanted to show you, my friends, is you can tell if it's ready for drywall or not. You run your scraper over it, you don't hear any spots, so listen to this. And then listen to this. See, there's none of that popcorn texture on this side. But over here, it's rough, so it's going to make that rough sound. Back here in this area, it's almost ready. There's a little spot right there that's rough, so put a little bit of spray water on there. And then I want to hit this area over here again, and then this area back here again with the water. So whenever you're fixing a popcorn texture ceiling, first of all, you got to make sure there's no asbestos in it, and anything before 1976, it could have asbestos in it. This home was built in 2020, so not 2020, but 2000. So in the year of 2000, so this home is 20 years old. So I know that there's no asbestos in my home anywhere. Okay, so I want to have everything not make that rough sound. So I'm going to keep scraping it with the water saturated into it until it's smooth. And then where the edges are, you just want to very, very loosely knock those down. So when I blend my popcorn texture back, I'm going to blend back into the area where I've done. So see how easy that goes, because I sprayed it down with water first. You want to really saturate your area. So I want to put some more water right here, and I want to feather this out just a little bit more because I want probably a good 6 inches. So when I'm doing my drywall mud, I'm going to do a wide knife to the point that I'm almost into the popcorn texture when I mud it out. That's important, probably more important when doing a ceiling, because you look up, you're going to see every flaw, every detail, and that's why I'm doing steps on this video so you can see the steps. See, now that area there is almost smooth, but this area over here you can tell is rough. Hear the difference? From rough to smooth. I want the smooth look because I got to pass over that with drywall mud, and I don't want my drywall mud to pick up any of those divots in there. Just going around it to make sure that it's almost ready to go. You don't want to saturate your ceiling too much where you're actually pulling off the paper of the drywall. There's a paint primer under there, but I am pulling off a little bit of that paper, but that's okay because I'm going to let it dry completely before I do my drywall work. I'll probably let it dry a couple days. All right, my friends, I basically have this to the point of having it all removed, okay? So now there's a couple of areas on there that I need to trim back. So in order to put drywall up in there, I need to have at least a 3/4 inch area all the way around here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to give it an eyeball to make sure that I have that 3/4 inch gap, and if not, I'm going to take and use my drummer tool to do that. So let me bring up the drummer tool, and I'm just going to eyeball this because I've been doing this for many years. But if you're doing this yourself, you might want to put up a straight edge and straight edge your line. So I'll be right back with the drummer tool, and we're going to prep this, get it ready for insulation and drywall, and then I got to get a different junction box for this. Like I said, we're going to plug in our Christmas tree lights there. Well, my friends, for the sake of the sheetrock dust falling on the camera lens and not wanting you to have to look through a cloud of dust, I've already cut 3 sides. I'm going to cut this final side right here on camera, but I'm going to mute the sound from this point until I'm done because I don't want you to hear the loudness of the tool that I'm using. So enjoy listening to the music. I'll turn the music up a little loud while I get this out, and then I'll come back and talk to you again here in a minute. Well, my friends, you can see a little bit of the dust that fell off of there. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this piece out with my tool here. Well, there it is, my friends. We've got plenty of board to nail to. Notice, my friends, when I was cutting this, I was holding this back towards me at an angle. I did the same thing on here. It's because I have a cathedral ceiling, and so when I put this in here, I have to have that angle so then it will lay correctly in there. So that's it for step number 2. And step number 3, my friends, we're going to go ahead and get this box taken care of. We're going to insulate this, and then we're going to put a piece of sheetrock on there. That's going to be in step 3, coming right up. Well, my friends, welcome to step 3 of this skylight hole enclosure, I guess is what you want to call it. I decided to make step 3 all about this electrical junction box. And so we're going to get started with changing this out right now. As you can tell, we have a mess here, and we can't really put sheetrock around that. Remember, I wanted to put an outlet that would hold a Christmas tree lights or any other lights I wanted to run that way around my living room. So this is live right now. We need to kill this power here, and then we're going to put a blue box up there. And this here is the box that we're going to use, my friends. As you can tell right there, we're going to put that all right up in this area. So I'm going to kill this power to the whole house, my friends, and that's going to make it a little bit more darker in here. Hopefully we'll have enough light here and be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and shut the power off, and I'll be back in just a few minutes. Well, my friends, I shut the power off. As you can tell, it's a lot darker here in the house. So I'm going to go ahead and get started trying to use this length of wires that I have here. Because if I cut them off, I'm not going to have enough to put that box where I want them to go. And my friends, I need to go get another tool. I'll be right back. And my friends, these are actually called lineman pliers. Some people might call them aviator pliers, but they work a little bit better to disconnect these wires. I'll show you how I'm going to hook them all back up when I put them into the electrical outlet. On hooking the round pigtail now. That's why you disconnect the power, my friends. This has a little lock color that locks those in there. So you want to pull that lock color out. I don't know if you can see where I'm working at right now, but I need those wires. So I need to get this off of here. Gonna break it. That's a little easier to do. I'm trying to fight that little pushing piece there. It's probably been in there for a million years, but that little piece right there, I don't know if you can see that, but this little piece right here is what locked in pliers, those lines in there. So now we got that out of the way. Check to make sure we've got no frayed ends or no burnt ends. So this has some holes on it. I already knocked them out for this wire to go through. So this is gonna go right here, but I'm gonna go ahead and feed those wires through there. And being as I've got two separate wires, I'm gonna separate them. I'm gonna put the one closest to me in the top hole that's closest to the box, and then these here will go in this other hole. And I want to put this, I wish I could put it along there, but I'm not going to have room to do that. But I want to make sure that when I finish this out, it's going to finish out with my drywall. So I just eyeball it. Then I got my faithful hammer here. I'm getting insulation down on me. So I'm going to get my safety glasses. I think they're highly important here. And I brought my level back as a straight edge. We'll get that one side in, and then we'll angle the other side down. I'm actually left-handed, and that makes it a little bit more difficult for me to hammer in with my right hand, especially when I have a defect in that arm. So now I'm going to use my level to make sure that that line comes straight across. See how much easier that was with my left hand? I actually have a torn tendon in this arm, so as you can tell, the fingers are paralyzed, but I can still do it, and I manually have to pull the fingers out. So I'm going to use my straight edge again, make sure that we're good, that the drywall should cover all that up. I think we're good. All right, my friends, I got a regular outlet. I'm going to go ahead and wire my wire nuts back on here first before I do anything else, because what I want to do is I want to drywall up around this, and then I'll wire in the outlet. I'll probably wire the outlet in another video, just so you can see how I wire that. But this really doesn't control anything. It's just a junction box, but it might go to the power that's from the main box or feeding from somewhere else, but I don't want to make a bad choice and not hook this up. So we're going to go ahead and put the wire nuts back on here where they belong, and then we'll turn the power back on, and we'll put these back up in the box, and then we'll pull them down a little bit later. So we'll get these wires out of the way. take my aviator pliers and just make a little turn around them. The wire nut back up on in there. Do the same thing with the 2 white wires. Another wire nut up there. I'm not really worried about that ground wire, but just in case something touches up in that box, I'll go ahead and cover them up. When I hook them up to the outlet, I'll use a green ground screw up in there for now. Want to get them wires back up out of the way. I'm gonna go turn the power back on and see if it all works. I'll be right back. Well, my friends, that's about it for roughing in a new electrical box. So as you can tell, this is all level. So my new drywall ought to fit on there. Remember, this is the old box. That's the new box. Like I said, I do have an outlet for it. So my next step, my friends, is to shove this little space full of insulation, and then I'm going to put drywall up in there. That'll be step 4. So, friends, welcome back to part 4 of this playlist series. What I'm going to be doing here is insulating and putting some drywall up on my enclosure on my Skylight access tube. So my friends, safety is number 1, so let's get started as we put on our safety gear, and we're going to get started right now. Well, my friends, probably the number 1 thing that we need when we're dealing with insulation is dust mask, safety glasses, and gloves. I've already cut the insulation. I actually cut 2 pieces of insulation. We're going to put them up in here now. This insulation has a black design underneath it, but it's not moldy. It just has that black on there. Let me move the camera up so y'all can see what I'm doing here. My gloves back on. Okay, this when I first looked at this, I thought it might be a little moldy, but it's not moldy because the underside of it has a black lining on it. Let's shove that up in there. I'm going to come down a little bit. Shove this last piece up in there. Now we have a double 6 inches of insulation up there. I think that'll work pretty good, my friends. What I would like to do next is cut the drywall to go up in there. I don't have that cut, so we're going to go outside to my tailgate and we're going to cut that, and we're going to get started right now. Well, my friends, let's go cut this piece of sheetrock. I'm going to go outside where my pickup's at so I can use my tailgate as a workbench. I live really close to a mountain fire, so gonna see what it looks like about 20 miles or so away from where they're evicting people at up here in Colorado. So let's go outside and you're gonna see what I'm talking about. So that's the forest fire that's actually dropping soot everywhere I'm at. And I just put this piece of drywall right here, and you can tell it's all over it. But I'm gonna put you guys right here. I believe you'll stay there, hopefully. I'm gonna turn you down so you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully I won't lose the camera here. Let's blow this off. As you can tell, my friends, I've already got this mark. So we're 16 inches square. So I want to make a couple of marks. I got one here, one there, and one there. And as you can tell, if you're watching me, it is really raining again. So I'm going to cut this knife. And we'll lift it up. Just pop it. Draw the same line on the shorter side. Same thing. Well, my friends, I need to measure out where the outlet goes. I'll be right back. I've done a little drawing here of what I'm doing, so it always helps. You put some arrows down, you can figure it out. So come in one side to 11 inches, come over a little bit, 11 inches and 15 1/4. 15 1/4. That smoke's pretty bad. 15, 11 to 15. About 1/2 inch to 3. That's from one side. You want to make sure you check it from the other side, which is going to be 12 1/4 to 15. Okay, so these lines. It's a little off. It'll be okay because we're gonna have to put 2 pieces of drywall up there. Okay, now we got to get a special tool in order to cut that out. Sheetrock saw. Poke a little hole. Okay, that's going to be wrong because it's upside down. So if I was putting it up like that, but I want the good side there. So that's why you always got to check more than one time. So now we'll turn the piece over and do an 11 to 15. So I caught myself there. It's important. And 12 1/4, 15 1/4. 1/4 to 15 1/4. Now I can draw out my lines. You always want to think opposite when you're putting it on a ceiling because you're looking up at your ceiling. because I got to put another piece over it. We'll make the other piece a little bit better. It's all down into that narrow piece. It'll be pretty easy to break it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scrub it with my knife. Press kind of hard. Just pop it through. Alright, my friends. That's what it's got to be. If I was looking at the wall, this would be right, but I'm looking at it from the ceiling, so it's got to be a reverse change because I want the white down. So my friends, let's change the camera setting here a little bit. There we go. Let's go put this in the house and see if it works. That's the joy of modeling your own home. I really, really enjoy it. So I'm going to set this down here. I'm going to put you guys back up here. Let's see if it fits. I left my ladder outside where you guys are at, but I'm about 6.5 feet tall, so. All right, my friends, I think that's going to work pretty close. What I'm trying to do, I'm going to go get my ladder so I can get up there a little bit better. I'll be back shortly. Okay, friends, I got my first piece of drywall up there. I'm dealing with about 1.25 inches of space here, so I put my second piece up in there. And everything is flush except for basically this area over here. Okay, so I'm going to have to go and what they call dado out this part of the sheetrock around here. So probably from about this area to halfway point, so it'll set up in there more flatter. I'm going to take the camera down and show you how to do that in just a little bit. Okay, my friends, this is what I'm going to do. Since this side fits flush, because you can tell one side's greater than the other side. So that's just the way the rock goes. So we know this side is pretty much okay. So what I'm going to do, my friends, is I'm going to dado out from here probably all the way to here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off this backing board right here and notch this all the way around and just shave that off very carefully. So I can't really do that and show you what I'm doing. So I think you get the gist of the idea. So let me do that and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Well, I found a way to kind of show you what I'm doing here. So as you can tell, I cut about a diagonal line down into the drywall, like you would if you were going to cut it. A lot of people have asked me, I've been doing this remodel work most of my life. So, like when you put showers on, you do drywall over the top of your shower edges. I tell people to cut a dado and remove some of that drywall, and they don't really understand. So I wanted to make a video so if I ever come up against that, people would have an idea of how to dado. So basically I'm just notching all of this out kind of just shaving it with my knife. And then I'm going to test fit it so you can tell that I'm just removing the paper and some of the drywall. So you can scribe a little dado edge all the way around it. I don't want to take away all that drywall because I want it to match up what I'm doing. So if you just keep, you got to be patient with this stuff. You just do a little bit at a time. Eventually, you'll be able to remove enough to float your drywall up into that uneven area. A lot of times in remodel work, things aren't perfect because you know, this is a trailer house and it's settled. I do have a stress crack that I'll be fixing in another video with a full beam board. Got to be careful with this. So I'm dealing with a sharp blade, so you don't want to accidentally cut your arm or your finger if you got your finger too close to it. So I know it's not going to fit because I need to remove this whole area right here. So you can tell kind of what I'm doing there. I'm just kind of slicing and cutting away at it. So be patient and eventually you'll make it work. Just take little narrow cuts at it. Drywall is probably the greatest surface to really take your time on because your final product is dependent on this. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here and then I'll bring you back on board when I get it up there. Be right back. Well, my friends, there it is. With enough patience and perseverance and mess making, yeah, mess making, you can get her done. Give you a little bit more closer up look. It's pretty good. The drywall mud will take care of the rest of that. And when I speak about messes, let me show you about the mess I'm talking about. Hold on. Well, there's the mess, my friends. It makes a big mess to get all that done. You might be asking me, why didn't I trim all that outside? Well, the smoke out there is really, really bad, and it is bothering my voice and my throat, as you can tell. So anyway, we'll be coming back in the next step, and we will be putting the first coat of mud on there, and I'll show you how to do that, and we'll probably make the next step all 3 coats of mud. My friends, until we meet again, that's a wrap on this step. We've got the drywall up in there. We've got the electrical box taken care of. So the next step will be to put 3 coats of mud on there and sand down in between each coat of mud. So sorry about the lighting in here, friends. I'm trying to do the best I can. So we'll see you again in the next step. Well, my friends, I would like to start out by showing you what I'm going to be using for this these steps. All of these 3 steps I'm going to be doing in one step because putting the tape on and applying the mud is all one step. If you want to look at it that way, it actually takes 3 coats. But so the first thing that we need, my friends, is we need some fiber tape, and that's a brand new roll that I went and got. The next thing you're going to need to sand down is you're going to need a sandpaper, or this is a drywall sponge brick. I like to use that because I can wet it down and it makes a less amount of dust as if I was using sandpaper or something. The next thing that you're going to need is some all-purpose joint compound. I do mix my coats in between the the steps that I'm going to be showing you now, because I believe that if you thin it down, it's going to cover the cracks a little bit better. And because we're doing 3 different coats of mud, my friends, we're going to use 3 knives. So this is coat number 1. This will cover the tape coat. This is coat number 2, and that's going to be a little wider. I'll show you all of those together in a minute. This is the final coat of mud that we put on, and yes, we use that whole width. And we're going to need a drywall mud pan to put our mud in so we can apply it. So I'm going to show you the thicknesses or the widths of the mud. So there's the first one, or the last one I should say. There's the second one, and then there's the first one. So as you can tell, we have to feather this out, my friends. If we don't feather it out, it's not going to be an invisible patch. So we want to find an invisible patch, so we have to use all of the tools to make it a visible patch. So what I'm going to do, my friends, is I'm going to get up on the ladder there now, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I think it's important that I explain removing some more of the popcorn texture that's up there. We're going to do that right now. Well, my friends, as you can tell, I'm up on the ceiling now, and I'm going to be showing you how wide do we go with this mud work. First thing I'm going to do is put my safety glasses on. That's the first thing you need to do. So we know how wide to remove the popcorn texture because of our final coat of mud that we got to put on. And see, this is a center part of this mud knife, or this trowel knife. So we want to put that in the center part of our seam, and then reach out to where that's got to be removed at. And I've already done that, my friends, and I've actually drew some lines on the ceiling here. As you maybe can see some of the lines here. You can see this, yeah, you can see some lines over here. And right now, right here, you're seeing the seam, okay? So we want to feather it out. So basically, my friends, I'm just going to take my little atomizer bottle, a mist bottle, and I'm just going to soak down out to that line. Just make a square patch is fine, my friends. And you're going to let that set for a little bit. You just want to do it on the area that you don't have it removed from wide enough. And then get your 5-in-1 tool that I was using, or any kind of putty knife or scraper that you have. And after that's set for a little bit, you can come up here and scrape right out to your line. Because when I shoot texture over that line, it's going to cover all that up, so you're not going to see that line. It just gives you a guide to go. And I did put on a work shirt that was white, because you don't really need a white one, but it helps because this is white stuff, and if it dries on there, it won't look so bad then. You can hear that roughness there now, and you can see the stuff falling in the video. So just keep coming around your edges, because trust me, you'll understand why when we make the final approach around this. If you pulled off any of the tape or any of the mud, you want to get that off of there too. So that was a loose piece. And just finish removing all that rough stuff from your spot. Then I'll just take my tool and go along the edge and knock off that rough stuff. And this stuff goes everywhere, my friends. Well, that's pretty much ready for me to put my wire on there now, my fiber mesh tape. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And I forgot to tell you, you might want to use a utility knife to cut this. It's kind of hard to find the edge of it. The more expensive stuff might have a piece that comes around it. So I'm going to pause my video here until I find this edge and start putting it up on there, because it could take me 15-20 minutes to find this, and I don't want to waste my video time, so I'll be right back. Okay, my friends, I found the edge here. So I'm just going to go around and put this on here. And yes, I had to cut the piece, so I'm going to have little strips that are going to be coming out of here. Very difficult. If you're trying to save your money, buy the cheaper stuff, you get what you pay for, I guess. But in the end, I guess it'll work. Just kind of want to push it over your joint. You'll have a little strings that will come off the stuff. You don't want them getting in your way, so just go ahead and cut those strings off your patch material. You can tell what I'm talking about. It's kind of like paper thin stuff. And just make sure that you're covering that seam, because it will come through if you don't. Now you might noticing that I put a first coat of mud on here. Basically, my friends, all that was is a skim coat to cover up the imperfections that I did not like. There were some low spots that I wanted to make sure had a little extra help. Because when you're doing a ceiling, my friends, it's difficult to make this perfect if you don't take a few extra steps. And what I'm going to do, my friends, is I'm going to fold this edge of this tape over. As you can tell, I folded it over there. So now when I get ready to find that again on another project, I'll know where that ends at. So let's get ready to put my first coat of mud over this tape. Hold on. Well, my friends, I got my first knife up here, and I've got it in my mud bucket, as you can see right there. I mixed it up in the bucket a little bit and added a little water. So now I just want to put a little bit on my knife like that. I don't want to put a whole lot on there. And then I'm just gonna, ceilings are a lot different than walls, my friends. So you just basically want to do a cover coat of your tape. I'm going to get down a little lower, my friends, so I can see what I'm doing, because right now I'm not really under it. So I'm going to leave the camera running while you're watching what I'm doing. Very important that you're seeing this process here, because like I said, patching a ceiling, my friends, is completely different than patching a wall that's flush in front of you. This is overhead. And the wall has more forgiving stuff on it than the ceiling does. The ceiling is not as forgiving as the walls, I guess is what I'm saying. Basically, I'm just trying to cover the tape and fill in any voids that are there. And as you can tell, my friends, I'm going two different directions to get this first coat of mud up here. I think that's kind of important, because I'm just doing a ply coat. Remember I was talking to you about that paper, or that felt that has those little strings? There's one right there. Now that's going to interfere with my mud, so I'm just going to get rid of it right now. And then I'll show you how I'm going to feather this as soon as I get it up here. I've got basically almost 3 sides of it done. Might look to you like I'm really doing a wide patch, and that's because we need to feather that out. It needs to be wide so we can finish our final coat. Now I'm going to smooth it as I feather it. What I'm doing here is basically getting rid of any ridges that I see up here. Other professionals might have another way of doing this, but this is how I have done it for so many years. So you want to come all the directions. You want to wipe your mud knife off in your bucket as you remove that mud to get down your roughness. If you don't take the time to do this when it's wet, it's going to be too thick when you sand, and you're going to have a hard time trying to feather all that out. Don't worry about filling all the voids in this coat. You got 2 more coats to go. Now, I'll come back tomorrow. We'll do a light sanding on this, and then we'll mix up another coat of mud, a little bit runnier, and it'll start dripping on me, but that's the way it goes. So because I'm up here at eye level with it, I can see where my high spots are, versus if I'm down here lower, I can see those too. But don't worry about all of them right now, because we're going to be doing more coats of mud and thinning down our mud as we go. So don't overkill yourself with it. Don't overextend yourself so much, because like I said, there's 2 more coats going on with sanding in between each coats. Well, my friends, that's it for the first tape coat of mud. So we've removed a little bit more of the popcorn texture. We've put our tape coat on there, and we've put our first coat of mud on there. So come back in the second coat of mud, and I'll show you that too. All in the same video. We'll see you in a bit. Well, my friends, welcome back to part 2 of this mudding job to finish out this hole in my ceiling. So it's going to get a lot of dust come down, so protect my bald head, I'll put my hat on, and then I'll put my mask on, and then my safety glasses. What you want to do is you just want to knock off the rough edges. Alright, my friends, that's about all it is to do that. Like I said, if you did a really good job with your actual coat of mud, you won't have many ridges to sand down. You're probably wondering what's that behind me right there, my friends. That's some plastic that I put up between my dining room and my living room. I want to keep most of the dust in this room here, so that's what I'm doing. Now, my friends, I'm going to mix up some my second coat of mud for this project, and I'm going to do that off camera, but then I'm going to show you what it looks like, and I'll be right back in a few seconds. Well, my friends, I moved the camera a little bit different direction. I want you to be able to have a better view of what I'm doing back there. You're going to be looking over my shoulder, I get that. So I'm using my second width of my blade knife here, and I've thinned down my mud, my friend. So you want to do it so it just barely runs off your knife. If I go any more runnier than that, it's going to drip down on my head, and it's pretty much going to do that anyway. So I'm going to just be careful. And just like with the first coat, my friends, you want to just do a little bit on your blade. You don't want to cover your whole blade just because you want to work that mud a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward this a little bit so you can watch me mud that in. Enjoy the music, and I'll be back to talk to you as soon as I get my second coat of mud on that hole behind me. Get up here so I can talk to you a little bit better, my friends. That's pretty much a wrap on the second coat of mud. As you can tell, I worked that seam the closest to me back there a couple of times. The reason for that is that's the most noticeable area. That's out into the main part of the room, and so I wanted to build that up and feather that out a little bit more. So we're going to come back in the third part of this video, and we're going to be putting the third coat on there, my friends, and we're going to feather that all the way out to the end. And that's how you do it. I wanted to do all three coats in this video, so that's what I'm doing. We'll see you in the third coat coming up next. Well, my friends, once again I have came to my third coat of mud. I have it sanded down, and I've mixed up my mud to make it a little loose, and I'm going to go ahead and have you watch over my shoulder as I apply this mud coat. I'm going to move the camera up a little bit so you can see the whole facade of what I'm doing, and I'll go ahead and watch as I widen out the mud to the final width of the third drywall putty knife. Okay, and I've already mixed up my mud, and again, you want to use a whole width of your knife of mud on it. If you do parts of it or half of it, it's not going to get you the same thing that you need. So let me get my safety glasses on here, and let's go ahead and get this third coat of mud done. change the angle of the camera so you can see a little bit more up close. Hold on a minute. Hey, my friends, I've moved you so you can see the final product of the third coat. Do just a little bit simple touch-ups on it. The more you do here, the less sanding you have to do, but don't fret it too much, because the sandpaper or the sand block will take care of a lot of this. As you can tell, my friends, you cannot see the seam anymore, or the areas that I had to cover up. Like I said, do a good job. Take the time to do all your coats, and before you know it, you'll have a ceiling ready to put texture over. It does wear and tear on the arms a little bit, my friends, so you don't want to do it all in one day. Holding my arm up above my shoulder like that's a little intense. As you can tell, I've feathered it all the way out to the edges. So I feathered it to this edge here. I feathered it to this edge, this edge, this edge, and this edge, and all the way to this edge, all the way down. So when I come back tomorrow, I'll do a light sand coat. Let me move my camera down a little bit. I'll do a light sand coat on it, and we'll spray some popcorn texture on it, and that'll come up in the next step when we get ready to texture. So my friends, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Give me a like if you like this video. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. It also helps my algorithm to allow my channel to grow. And check out my playlist series on some of the other projects that I've done around my house. As you know, Jesus was a carpenter, and I like to follow in his steps. Okay, my friends, as you can tell, I've done some prep work up there. I've already done my final sanding coat up there. And I've put some plastic on the wall up there to protect my wall and my trim work. And I've also put some masking tape over that outlet up there. So as tall as I am, I think I can probably spray this right where I'm at. I'm going to turn the camera up just a little bit so you can watch what I'm doing here. There you go. I'm using ceiling texture pro grade popcorn texture out of a bottle, and you got to shake it up for a while, and then let's see if we can put it on. I'm going to start towards the wall and work myself back up. I'm going to use some safety glasses. As you can tell, it's going to bunch up and kind of splatter, so you want to wash the tip out and keep shaking it. As you can tell, I've got a good area started there. Always shake it. Okay, I'm going to stop and clean my tip again. I would say I got about half of it done. Shake a little bit more. Always want to look for some lighter spots, but let's get the main thing finished. Hope I'm not running out. I think I'm running out. Makes a real big mess. Yep, it's not spraying no more, so it means it's empty. The aerosol's not working. And my friends, I'll have to go to Walmart and purchase another bottle of that here after a while, and I'll be back here in a few minutes for your time, and I'll finish that up, and then I'll put you a little closer to the project so you can see how I'm going to blend that in. It's a little bit big and globbed in there, but we'll fix that. So give me about 10 seconds. I'll be right back. Well, my friends, I'm back with my second bottle of the same sealing texture. Just to shake it for 1 full minute after you hear that ball start to roll around in there. And it says do a light, quick, rapid movement and hold it 20 to 30 inches away. 20 to 30 inches away is 2.5 feet. I don't know if I needed that much. Anyway, I'm just doing some touch-ups to this area, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to kind of blend it in so it gets a little bit better looking up there. So let's get started here. Alright, my friends, I'm going to shake it some more and wash the tip again. And as you can tell, that came out a lot better because it's a new bottle, but it's thicker than the original coat that's up there. And as soon as I'm done spraying it really good, I'm going to put the camera up there in the corner so you can see kind of how it looks again. But I'm going to check it for light spots, low spots that I might want to put some more on. All right, my friends, I think that's going to work. I'm going to let that dry, and then I'll clean up my overspray mess, and then I will get up there on the ladder, and I'll move the camera a little closer so you can see kind of what I'm going to do to blend the size of the texture in. So I'll be right back. All right, my friends, here I am. Got you up on the shelf here by the ladder, and a lot of people always want to know what's that pink thing back there. That's a monkey, and he hangs from the dining room table chandelier, and There's a saying that sometimes you got to get the monkeys off your back, so he's a representation of the monkeys that we have to deal with. So back to this blending in process, you'll see here what I'm doing here. I'm going to change the angle of the camera so you can look up with me here. As you can tell, my friends, that's the texture area. I'm using this thing and basically going around and just feathering off the edges to start with to blend them in. And basically I'm just trying to make it small to join up. This stuff is a little bit more finer. It was painted over, but as I roll this into it, it's actually forming a pretty good blend, I think. You didn't want to leave those things down and creating a big problem. So you can roll over them, and just like knocking down the mud, you want to wait until it's pretty much dry, and you can go in here and knock these areas down, and then it'll kind of blend in. As you can tell, it's pretty much blended in with what we got going on here. And if there's any areas that we don't like, we can go and sand them down a little bit, or we can put some more texture in some areas. But I'm kind of liking this. I'm thinking it is kind of all blending in pretty good. I really have to stare at it from the ground to see that there was ever a hole there. So my friends, if you do a good job and you take the time to do it correctly, you won't even see the seam in there. And I was worried about this seam that was up here, and as you can tell, my friends, it's pretty much disappeared. Let me grab the camera and just give you a 360-degree turn as you look around this joint. I think it looks pretty good. You can see the electrical tape over the box. My friends, that's pretty much a patch in there. Let me get down off of my ladder so you can kind of see it from a distance. You're seeing some moisture in there, but my friends, I think that's pretty good. So my friends, I want to thank you for watching this little section. This is applying the texture coat, and we're going to come back in step number 7, and we're actually going to wire that electrical outlet up there. I'll do that in step 7, and we'll put a cover plate over it, and I'll get my wife's opinion on what she thinks about it when she returns home. She's actually away right now, and I miss her really bad. So God bless until we meet again in step 7. Well, my friends, as you can tell, I've moved the camera. I'm now up here on the ladder next to the ceiling where the electrical box is. Before I start wiring this, I want to show you what I'm going to be using. So I got a pair of needle nose pliers. You'll see what they're for. I've got a pair of wire strippers, wire cutters. I got both Phillips and straight slot screwdrivers. I have a package of green grounding screws. I'm going to be using one of those to ground the screws out. You'll see that in a minute. Also using a tamper resistant outlet. I'm using a square one up here. I'll tell you why in a little bit. And of course, I got the cover plate. My friends, before I get started on this, I need to go kill the power, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to let the camera run so you can tell how much light I'm not going to have, but I think it'll be okay. And then as soon as I get it wired up, I'll turn the lights back on and talk to you. But I plan to talk to you through this whole process, so give me a minute to turn the power off, and I'll be right back. Well, my friends, as you can tell, it got dark. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to pull these wires back down through here. Show you what I'm dealing with. So what I want to do is I want to separate these wires. Remember my aviator pliers I used to separate these in last video? Not the last video, but one of the steps when I took this apart. I'm going to go ahead and use these because I'm going to have to strip these wires back. I'll show you why here in a minute. But maybe I won't have to. We'll just have to see how it works. All right, now they're separated. What I'm working on now is this little ground screw. And as you can tell, I've used wire nuts on them. So what I'm going to do, my friends, is I'm going to cut some of that sheet back with my utility knife. Because this is a whole different apparatus of doing things than how the other electrical box is done. You want to go ahead and cut that plastic off, or the sheeting that came with it. Now we have wires that can actually be the same length now. So what I'm going to do, my friends, is I'm going to take the copper wire from each line of wire. So I got two lines. One's coming from the power, and one's probably feeding an outlet, or who knows. I don't know because I didn't wire this house originally. So what I'm going to do, my friends, is I'm going to open up my package of green grounding screws here. The package is made so you can close it back up and save these, which I think is cool. And I have a little pegboard in my storage barn that I can put them in. So now I'm going to just, this has got a hole in it. You can see that hole there. I'm going to take that and run that up in there through all those twists and turns. Actually, that's not going to work too good, so I'm actually going to just cut that wire at the bottom of one of these turns, because I don't need all that tail piece. And maybe I can manage to get that past those wires. When you're redoing electrical work, sometimes it becomes difficult, but keep working with it. It's just anything with life. I'm just twisting it to get it past the kinks that are in the wire. That seems to be working the best. Now I'm up on that other wire, so I'm going to just twist it until it's tight in there. All right. Seems to be pretty tight. Now, code says that you got to have about a foot of pigtails coming out of your box. So I'm going to cut two of the wires to make them be about the same length as the shorter wire that I had here. Then I'm going to strip a little end off of that, as you can tell with my strippers, and off of the white one too. So I stripped the black and the white off of one of those. So now I have it ready to hook up. So I'm going to look at the back of this outlet, and it has a place that I can shove these wires in to a hole and tighten them down. Now, if you can see those holes there, the little round holes on the top and the bottom, I can do that. So one side is hot and one side is the neutral, so the hot is the black. So what I would normally do, my friends, when I'm doing this is I take and do a pigtail on my ground wire, because that has to be looped around the green ground screw. So you see that green ground screw there? That gets wrapped around, or the wire gets wrapped around that screw. And then tighten it down on there. So how do I know which wire screw to put that on? Well, first of all, it says on the outlet, but usually the lighter colored one is your light one, white one. So I'm going to push that down in there, and the black on the other side. I may have to do a loop because this wire may be too big. Nope, it worked. Okay, now I'm going to straighten this one out. And actually, because those were wrapped up around the wire nut, I'm going to go ahead and cut that off and strip enough to go down into that hole, because I want it to be straight. I don't want it to catch. So it has to be tight enough to connect. All right, now for the black on the more shinier side. Again, find the round hole. If it doesn't work, you can always pigtail it around the wire end. And since that one was rounded around the wire nut, I'm going to strip it and start with a flat piece. A hard time seeing without the lights on. This makes me shake. Cut that tip a little bit more. Back here so I can see what I'm doing. Struggling with it. I'm going to pause the camera here for a minute, and I'll be right back after I get this together. Well, my friends, I got all the wires in there. Now you're probably wondering, how do I know? Well, you can give them a little pull. If they come out of there, then you know you don't have them in there. Okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back down off the ladder a little bit, and I'm going to push these wires around and put them up in the box, and then we'll go turn the power back on, and then we'll check the power circuitry with this tool right here. It's a ground fault interrupter. but we want to make sure that it's wired right and it's got power through it. So I'm going to go ahead and push these wires up in here and go ahead and show you how I'm going to do that. Now, each one of the plugs has a little round hole on it. That's actually the bottom of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push that towards the wall. The reason I'm pushing it towards the wall is I'm using this for my Christmas lights, and so that's my bottom. So I'm going to use my little drill here to help me out. I'll just start them with this. I want to make it straight. So how the light little helps, that's why I'm doing it. All right, my friends. I'm going to go turn the power back on, and I'll go ahead and plug this in there. Hopefully when power comes back on, you'll see these lights come on. So I'm going to let you watch that, and I'll come and check it in a little bit. Hold on. You guys seen the light come on? It's on. So we can basically check the other one too. You can see that the lights are on. If both lights weren't on, my friends, it would show that there was a neutral ground somewhere. So now to finish this out, let's put the outlet cover on it. Again, make sure everything's straight. It's a lot better when the lights work, huh? Okay, my friends, you can use that to straighten it out a little bit in there. All right, everything works. That's basically a wrap on my ceiling, my friends. And as you can tell, you really can't see any seams up there. Let me move you around here. Let me straighten my camera out. Sorry about the hand. So I think that looks pretty good. When you give color back here, it doesn't make any difference at all. Oh, there's the monkey. Oh, meet the monkey. Curious George, he's always curious. And see, you can't hardly tell that there was even a patch up there. So my friends, that's a wrap on this playlist series on how to cover a skylight hole. We're going to conclude this video playlist series